Hello, inner shifters, how you doing? Your host, Sophia here. Let's talk about something that's simple, brilliant, and an absolute lifesaver when life gets hectic. The idea of plan once, cook twice. Or honestly, sometimes even 3 times. It's one of those mindset shifts that feels so small, like, yeah, leftovers. But when you lean into it with a little intention, it becomes one of the most powerful tools to eat well without burning out. I had a friend named Sophia, busy mom, full-time job, juggling a million things. She wanted to feed her family home-cooked meals, but the pressure of daily cooking left her stressed and resentful. Her turning point came when she stopped thinking of every meal as its own project and started thinking like this: if I'm already chopping, prepping, and cooking once, how can I stretch this into multiple meals? So instead of grilling chicken just for dinner, she grilled extra and used it the next day in tacos. Then again in a quick soup later in the week. As she wasn't reinventing the wheel, she was just reimagining the leftovers. And her stress around meals, it practically vanished. There's this incredible principle in behavioral psychology called decision fatigue, and it's real. The more decisions you make in a day, what to wear, what to answer, what to cook, the more your mental energy drains. But when you cook once and stretch that effort into multiple meals, you eliminate so many choices. You cut down on prep time, and you free up energy for the rest of your life. It also helps you eat better, by the way. A study from the Journal of Nutrition Education and Behavior found that people who planned meals in advance were more likely to eat vegetables, maintain a healthy weight, and save money on groceries. There's power in prepping, even if it's just a little. My friend Mateo, who lives alone and works long hours, took this concept and turned it into what he called ingredient batching. Sunday night, he'd roast a tray of mixed vegetables, cook up a big pot of quinoa, and grill some tofu or chicken. During the week, he'd throw those ingredients together in different combinations. A stir fry on Monday, a salad on Tuesday, a wrap on Wednesday. It took 20 minutes or less each night, but tasted like a new meal every time. And I love what that says about self-care too. Planning ahead isn't just logistical, it's an act of kindness toward your future self. It's saying, I see you. I know you'll be tired. So here's one less thing to worry about. That's not lazy, that's wise. That's loving. So maybe the next time you're cooking pasta, double the sauce. Freeze some. Roast extra veggies. Cook one extra chicken breast. And instead of thinking, leftovers, think, future me is going to love this. Because eating well doesn't have to be complicated, it just has to be thoughtful. Versatile ingredients are the busy person's best friend. Think of them as your culinary building blocks, humble, adaptable, always ready to show up and save the day. When you've got the right staples in your kitchen, you don't need a plan, you just need a few minutes and a little imagination. I had a friend named Mateo, an overworked grad student who lived off caffeine and sheer willpower. He wanted to start cooking more, but the idea of following recipes, measuring things, buying a bunch of new ingredients, way too much. So we made a pact. He'd stock his kitchen with just a few solid, flexible ingredients that could become whatever he needed that day. And I kid you not, that man became a kitchen ninja. Here, what changed, instead of starting from what recipe do I want to make, he started from what do I already have that could turn into something delicious in under 20 minutes? Things like rotisserie chicken, pre-washed greens, a can of black beans, some eggs, frozen broccoli, a block of cheese, jarred salsa. Suddenly, dinner wasn't a puzzle, it was a mix and match game. One day, he'd throw chicken, greens, and beans into a quick skillet with taco seasoning. The next, it was an omelet stuffed with leftovers and herbs. Later in the week, he'd toss everything into a wrap with avocado and hot sauce. A zero stress, a full flavor. It wasn't about being fancy, it was about being smart with what he had. And research supports this approach too. A 2022 study in appetite found that people who regularly stock their kitchens with versatile foods were more likely to cook at home and reported significantly less meal prep stress. Because when your ingredients are ready to roll, cooking isn't a chore, it becomes a creative shortcut to nourishment. My favorite part, it builds confidence. Suddenly, you're not someone who needs a recipe, you're someone who creates meals. You feel capable, resilient, like you've got this even on the busiest day. So if your schedule's a tornado, your energy's low, or you're just tired of staring into your fridge hoping something will magically assemble itself, stock your kitchen like a pro. Give yourself a few flexible heroes: beans, grains, greens, sauces, pre-cooked proteins. You don't need variety in everything, you just need a few all-stars you can remix again and again. One pot and sheet pan meals are the unsung heroes of busy lives. I mean, is there anything more satisfying than pulling a hot, bubbling meal out of the oven, knowing it took minimal effort and left you with just one dish to clean? It's like a cozy culinary life hack, custom made for people who want to eat real food but don't want to live in their kitchen. I had a friend, Clara, who used to love cooking but completely lost the joy when life sped up. She said every meal felt like a commitment: chopping, cooking, cleaning up 4 pots, and by the time she was done, the food wasn't even hot anymore. But then she discovered the beauty of what she called her tray dinners. She'd toss whatever veggies she had in the fridge onto a sheet pan: carrots, zucchini, bell peppers, drizzle with olive oil, add a few chicken thighs or tofu cubes, sprinkle on her favorite spice blend, and roast. Boom. 30 minutes later, dinner was served, the kitchen smelled amazing, and she had one tray to wash. That changed everything. This kind of cooking isn't just efficient, it's liberating. You stop thinking of dinner as a puzzle and start seeing it as a canvas. Want Mediterranean flavors? Use lemon, garlic, and oregano. Feeling something spicy and bold? Go for curry powder and coconut milk. In a comfort food mood, hello rosemary and sweet potatoes. You get variety without added work, and that's the sweet spot. And here's the best part: science agrees. According to a 2020 study published in Public Health Nutrition, people who cooked at home frequently reported greater emotional well-being, better diet quality, and even improved time management. But the key wasn't elaborate recipes, it was ease of preparation. The simpler it is to cook, the more likely we are to do it regularly. Which means that sheet pan of roasted veggies, that's self-care in disguise. The same goes for one-pot meals. I had a guy friend, Mateo, who lived off takeout for years, not because he didn't want to cook, but because cleaning pans and dealing with leftovers gave him actual dread. So I shared my favorite one-pot chili with him. Just a can of beans, tomatoes, onion, garlic, spices, and whatever protein he wanted. Simmer it all in one pot. He was blown away. The flavor was incredible, cleanup was a breeze, and he had lunch for the next day. Now he's a one-pot wizard: soups, stews, pastas, even risotto. He says it's his therapy with leftovers. And this style of cooking does more than save time, it brings a sense of calm. There's something grounding about throwing everything into a single pot or pan and letting it work itself out. You don't have to hover. You don't have to juggle timing 4 different dishes. You just give the ingredients a little love, a little seasoning, and trust the process. Even better, it encourages you to use up what you have: no waste, no fuss. A half onion here, a lonely carrot there, some rice or lentils from the pantry, suddenly, that random assortment becomes a flavorful curry or a soothing soup. It teaches you to improvise, to listen to what your kitchen is offering and build from there. It's not just cooking, it's creative problem solving that feeds you in more ways than one. So if you ever feel overwhelmed by mealtime, start here. Find a pan or a pot, pick a few ingredients, and let them hang out together. There's no wrong way to do it. I'm so glad you're enjoying this, because we're cooking up a whole new way of looking at food and life. All right, let's dive into number 4. Prepping on your low energy days. This one's a total game changer, and it might just become your kitchen's superpower. We live in this culture where everything has to be high output, high effort, high reward, and that includes cooking. But what if we flipped the script a little? What if meal prep didn't have to be a Sunday marathon with 15 containers, a mountain of vegetables, and an emotional breakdown by hour 2? What if it could be gentle, intuitive, and dare I say, kind? I had a friend, Leo, who used to dread meal prep. He'd plan ambitious menus, try to cook everything on one day, and by the end, he was exhausted, frustrated, and barely wanted to eat what he made. One day he said, "I'm tired of turning food into a chore." And you know what changed everything? He stopped trying to prep on his busiest day and started doing tiny bits of prep when he had the least pressure. During quiet weekday evenings or low-key Saturdays when he was home listening to music or catching up on a podcast. He didn't cook full meals. He just chopped some veggies, portioned out a few proteins, maybe marinated something. It took 20 minutes tops. But when the week picked up steam, those little acts added up big time. Suddenly, dinner wasn't overwhelming. It was already halfway there. This isn't just about food, it's about energy intelligence. Learning to ride the rhythm of your life instead of pushing through it. Science backs this up too. A 2019 study in the journal Health Psychology found that people who aligned tasks with their natural energy levels were significantly more likely to follow through consistently and reported better well-being overall. So when we treat cooking like something that requires 100% of us all the time, we burn out. But when we give ourselves permission to prep gently when we have the capacity, that's sustainability. Oh, that's freedom. There's a concept called micro-prepping that I love. It's this idea that you don't have to do everything at once. You can do a little here, a little there. Chop an onion while your coffee brews. Wash your greens after a slow breakfast. Cook a big batch of grains while you're watching your comfort show. It's not about squeezing productivity out of every moment. It's about weaving care into your day in a way that feels natural. I had a friend named Sophia who called this her future me kindness ritual. On her low days when energy was low but time wasn't super tight, she'd cut a few bell peppers, pre-roast some sweet potatoes, or portion snacks for the week. Nothing intense. But by midweek, when life got chaotic and she was running between meetings or dealing with emotional stuff, she'd open the fridge, see those little gifts she gave herself, and feel like someone was taking care of her. That someone was her. And that's beautiful. Here's the magic. When you prep like this, cooking doesn't feel like a fresh project every night. You're not starting from scratch, you're picking up where calm you left off. And your meals, they flow. Plus, it builds momentum. You start noticing what makes your life easier. You become the kind of person who always has garlic peeled, greens washed, protein thawed. And that identity, I take care of myself in quiet ways, starts to seep into other parts of your life. Suddenly, you're not just surviving the week, you're moving through it with grace. So no, you don't need to be a meal prep warrior. But if you can prep just a little when life is soft and slow, you'll thank yourself later when things speed up. This one's a flavor bomb, just waiting to make your kitchen life so much easier. Number 5 is about keeping flavor boosters on hand. And I cannot overstate how life-changing this is for anyone who wants meals that taste amazing without the time and mental energy of building every dish from scratch. See, cooking when you're busy isn't just about saving time, it's about getting the most joy out of the least amount of effort. And flavor boosters, they're the shortcut. They're your tiny, mighty kitchen allies. A spoonful of pesto, a splash of soy sauce, a squeeze of lemon, a sprinkle of za'atar. These are the things that transform a plain bowl of rice and veggies into a crave-worthy meal in 5 seconds flat. I had a friend named Jake, new apartment, new job, completely overwhelmed. He wanted to cook more, but everything he made came out. a kind of bland. He followed recipes to the letter but felt like he was missing the magic. The turning point was when he stopped trying to memorize recipes and instead built a little flavor toolkit. A few sauces he loved, a couple spice blends, and 2 go-to acids, hello, vinegar, and citrus. Suddenly, even when his meals were basic, leftover chicken, steamed broccoli, quinoa, they were bursting with life. Oh, the effort didn't change. Oh, the taste did. And this isn't just a foodie thing, this is backed by science. Flavor boosters light up the brain's reward centers. Research from the Monal Chemical Senses Center shows that the combination of acid, fat, and umami not only increases satisfaction, but also helps with appetite regulation and lowers the need for excessive salt or sugar. Basically, when your food tastes better, you feel more nourished physically and emotionally. You know who mastered this? My friend Sophia. Busy teacher, 0 time to cook elaborate meals. But she kept garlic confit in a jar, chili crisp in her fridge, and a tray of frozen herb cubes ready to go. 1 spoonful of any of those turned her scrambled eggs, roasted veg, or pasta into something worthy of a dinner party. She said, "I feel like I get the joy of cooking without the mess of it." And that's what flavor boosters do. They give your food dimension with almost no work. They're your weekday secret weapon. Plus, they empower creativity. You can take the same base ingredients, say rice, a veggie, and a protein, and give them completely different personalities depending on your flavor twist. Add tahini and lemon, Mediterranean vibes. Toss in soy sauce, sesame oil, and green onion, stir-fry town. Mix with harissa and cumin, North African heat. Just swap the sauce, not the whole meal plan. So stock up on a few good ones that you love. Keep them where you can see them. And give yourself permission to play. Because food should taste good even when time is short. You deserve flavor. You deserve joy. This might be the most important lesson of all when it comes to cooking in a full, beautifully busy life. Because somewhere along the line, we picked up this idea that real cooking has to be hard. It has to be from scratch. It has to be this flawless performance of perfectly sautéed onions and 27 ingredient sauces. But that idea, it's exhausting. And more importantly, it's not true. I had a friend, Camilla, who used to feel guilty every time she bought pre-cut veggies. She'd tell me I should be better at this. Better at meal planning. Better at cooking. Better at keeping the fridge stocked. And I remember telling her, "Girl, if the bag of chopped onions means you actually eat something homemade this week, that's not cheating." That's brilliant. And it is. Because real life is messy, unpredictable, and gloriously full of other things besides the kitchen. If a frozen rice pack, a store-bought rotisserie chicken, or a bagged salad kit lets you nourish yourself on a night when your bandwidth is gone, that is a win. That's not less than. That's wise. There's a beautiful quote I love by Nigella Lawson. "I'm not a chef, I'm a home cook. I'm in the business of feeding myself and the people I love, not impressing anyone." And I think that speaks to something deeper. Cooking is not about performance. It's about support. When you let go of the pressure to do it all from scratch, you open the door to actually enjoying the process. And the science supports this. Research from the Journal of Nutrition Education found that people who utilized convenient, semi-prepped ingredients were significantly more likely to cook at home consistently. And over time, they reported better nutrition and less stress around meals. Because consistency matters more than perfection. And feeling nourished, that's what really counts. I knew a guy named Jake, single, working long hours, trying to improve his eating habits. He used to think prepping fresh food every day was the only right way, but guess what finally helped him stick to home-cooked meals? Frozen stir-fry veggies, pre-cooked brown rice, canned lentils, and a few flavorful sauces. He'd throw them together in 5 minutes, eat happily, and feel accomplished, not guilty. That's the power of letting shortcuts be support, not shame. Even for folks who love to cook, there are days when chopping and planning just isn't in the cards. Oh, and that's okay. Using a meal delivery kit, grabbing a healthy frozen dinner, or putting hummus and pita on a plate with some carrots can be a beautiful act of self-care. Sophia, my friend who teaches high school and runs marathons and somehow still hosts people on weekends, once told me, "The second I stopped judging myself for how I got dinner on the table, everything got better." Oh, and that's it right there. Food is about life, not standards. It's about connection, energy relief. So take the shortcut. Add the sauce from a jar. Warm up the soup from the freezer. Use the grocery store rotisserie chicken like the hero it is. Cook when it feels good and when it does. Assemble with love and call it a day. You're not cheating, you're adapting. And that's one of the most nourishing things of all. I thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, and do all those lovely things you wonderful people do. I'll see you next time.